come with us for the next instalment in our Cork Ireland series, where we visit the legendary Blarney Castle in less than ideal conditions, even for Ireland, and perform ridiculous acrobatics in order to kiss the fabled stone. After which we explore the castle grounds and anywhere that can get us out of the rain, which included a stop at the historic Cork City Jail, where conditions might have been harsh, but at least they were dry. So come join us for things to do in and around Cork. Blarney Castle is only 15 minutes outside of Cork, and although can be reached by public bus or tours from the city centre, however we found car hire the best option, as essential to see all the key attractions scattered around County Cork. And there were no issues parking, though there is a €2 fee payable at the self-service machines there on the left. Now, we had purchased the €20 entry via e-ticket in advance, however was no benefit as no allotted time slots, and still had to queue up with everybody else who hadn't booked their ticket. A little ridiculous really, and can only imagine how chaotic the turnstiles would have been if a coach group had arrived at the same time. However, once inside we headed straight for the castle itself, as I'd not left as early as we had hoped, and the site was getting increasingly busy as time went on. I would really recommend you get here as close to opening time as possible and head immediately up to see the Blarney Stone. You can explore all the grounds and take all your photos afterwards at leisure, as historic castles were surprisingly not built to manage queues, and we had chosen a pretty abysmal day of weather in which to do so. But this is Ireland and you need to be prepared, as remarkably, not everybody will get to see the stone in glorious sunshine. Thankfully we had still got here early enough, so only had to queue for about 40 minutes. But that was still long enough in the rain, as many parts of the castle are still exposed to the elements. So to manage the sheer volume of visitors, the castle operates a one-way system, and this is most evident at the entrance, which is also the exit, and somewhat of a choke point with the constant stream of visitors heading in, meeting those exiting who come down this staircase. Once inside, there are many features to appreciate and areas to explore, but the castle is not restored in the interiors. So if you're looking for that kind of experience, I would recommend visiting Buntratty Castle out on the west coast. You will find between Limerick and Shannon Airport. However, here most people are queuing to see the famous Blarney Stone, though you can at points step out to explore areas and then rejoin the queue, which, as you can see on the left here, is climbing the circular staircase, which wasn't that physically demanding as the queue moves gradually, and once at the top were rewarded with a decent view despite the weather, and with the gradual pace of the queue had plenty of time to take photos without holding anybody up. At long last though, we were on the ramparts and on the final stretch to the stone itself. So, reality of the Blarney Stone, great if you come here on a lovely sunny day, but ultimately this is Ireland, so you better be prepared to get wet if you need to. And as you can hear from the wind, it was impossible to use an umbrella up here, so it was a case of grinning and bearing it for the last section of the exposed ramparts.
Hey, how we doing? Oh, that's it. Grab more guys. Keep the head and stuff bottom stuff, okay?
So, Blarney Stone is meant to give you the gift of eloquence. I think Lorraine didn't want me kissing it. She thinks I've got enough gift of the gab already, so it makes me a double threat now. God help her. And now, thankfully, we could head inside out of the rain. Quite sure what that is. It's probably what Lorraine's going to do to me for dragging her to a castle in the rain. Is that where you're going to put me later?
If you're lucky.
It was one of the castle defences we had spotted in the ceiling on the way in. And coming down the stairwell, you could see the challenge posed by having the exit and entry sharing the same doorway. I think I've had enough torture for one day. So feeling a little soggy, we decided to seek shelter and dry out, so headed to the Stable Yard Cafe, an obligatory gift shop for a well-deserved sit-down. We're very much in need of caffeine and warmth at the moment. This was a very welcome breather where we were able to grab a bite to eat and a hot drink in one of the converted stable booth seats. And suitably recharged, we then summoned the courage to brave the elements once again. Given the consistent rain showers, we decided not to explore the extensive grounds. Firstly, due to time pressure, as had a flight to catch that evening, but also to focus on some more indoor-based experiences. This included the Jameson's Whiskey Distillery Tour at Middleton, which you can see in our next video, so make sure you subscribe to follow our Cork series as not to miss it. No, it's bad luck to have your umbrella up indoors. And this was in fact just a cave, so after reaching a dead end, just headed back the way we came. Comes Mary Poppins with her brolly. She's just given herself God knows how many years bad luck. Thankfully now it was time to head to do some activities indoors. So we've done our fill of history and culture in the soaking rain.
At Cork City Jail.
So after our tour at the Jameson Distillery, and given the time we had saved at Blarney Castle not exploring the grounds, we had just enough time to squeeze in an additional visit at Cork City Jail. Located close to the city centre, admission was €10 per adult and included a self-guided tour book. And for an additional €2, you can either get an audio guide or alternatively join the escorted tour every afternoon at 2 p.m. However, there are numerous audiovisual and static exhibits to help you navigate your own way around the prison. Now, if you don't have time to visit the jail whilst in Cork, don't worry, as you can find other faithfully restored examples of 19th century prisons, both in Belfast and Dublin. So we obviously felt we didn't get wet enough today, so we've decided to now come to Cork City Jail literally just before our flight. And as you can see, the weather has not improved in the slightest. And remember, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you follow our Cork Ireland series, where we've toured the scenic coastline around Kinsale, explored Cork City Centre from a hotel with a waterfall, and taken a tour of the Jameson Whiskey Distillery. However, if you're enjoying this video, we please ask that you hit that like and subscribe buttons. It really goes a long way to helping support this channel and for us to bring you more videos like this in the future. After exploring the grounds, which you can do relatively quickly, we headed inside, where immediately upon entry you will find the prison warden's office. And like many rooms across the jail, have mannequins in period costumes to help visually bring the experience to life. The centrepiece, however, is one of the large cell wings that has been faithfully restored, where you can freely roam the gantries and walkways and explore the cells. Now, if you find sites like this appealing, make sure you subscribe to check out our other videos, where in Oxford in England we visited and stayed at a similar prison that has been converted into a boutique luxury hotel, and where multiple cells have been adjoined to make characterful hotel rooms a very unique hotel experience. I'll leave a link to watch at the end of this video. There were, however, no such luxuries at Cork City Jail, and some of their cells have been dedicated to their more famous or infamous inmates, with one particular regular inmate having clocked up 57 convictions. Now, moving from the cell wing to the main hub of the prison, you'll find other exhibits depicting daily life at the jail, including the quarters where the guards would have lived and worked, and who would have been responsible for maintaining order and carrying out any punishments on inmates, examples of which you can find on display. The jail opened in 1820 and remained in service right the way through to 1957, and was also a site of executions, not just by hanging but also by firing squad. and the last exhibit brings to life the judicial process, storytelling the offences that would have been brought to trial and what it must have been like being sentenced to prison here. So overall, Cork City Jail was a great experience, which although doesn't take too long, does have a great central location, so a great option to fit into your itinerary if you have the time, and faithfully brings the past of this historic site back to life. Which is where we end this video. So make sure you follow our Cork Island series, where in our next instalment we take a tour of the Jameson Distillery in Middleton, just outside Cork, and much larger than the one found in Dublin. Or alternatively, just check out one of our other destination videos. However, for now, thanks for watching and see you again soon.